So we're now going to finish off this introduction to key signatures just by looking at a different set of key signatures that we often see in printed music, and these are the flat keys. Now, it's not surprising that we called the sharp keys because they used sharps to change various notes. Say, for example, we had a key signature with two sharps in it. It was going to change Fs so that they're F sharps in the music and Cs so that they're C sharps in the music. Well, we do exactly the same thing with flats if we want to use them in a key signature. Imagine we didn't want people to play B, but we actually wanted them to play a B flat. And so by doing this, we're telling the player that every time they see a B in the music, whether it's a B here in the middle line or a B up here. Oh, that wasn't very good ledger line. Let's try and draw that a bit straighter. There we are. A B up here or a B, say, below middle C. This B here. All of these would be B flats in the music. And so the first flat key signature that we can write has one flat in it. And that flat is a B flat. And so just like with the sharp keys, we can continue to add more of these. So the next key signature that we might see has two flats, a B flat and an E flat. And there are lots of pieces of music that tell you to just use these flats, a B flat and an E flat. And we can keep adding them in. So the next one that comes is an A flat, then a D flat, next in the series comes a G flat. There we go. And then a C flat. We're starting to see these. We see these key signatures very, very rarely. A composer has to have a good reason for wanting you to play all of these different flats. Sometimes they like those keys, but we don't see these very often. And then finally an F flat. And so again, this is the scariest key signature with flats in that we're ever going to see. Sometimes people get very hung up about key signatures because it just adds another thing that you have to remember when you're playing a piece of music. Because there's so much to remember. You've got to remember to count the beats in the bar. You've got to remember what notes you're playing. You've got to look out for dynamics to see whether it's asking you to play loudly or quietly. And this key signature is just another thing to try and remember. And it's particularly difficult when you're sight reading, when you don't know a piece very well and you're playing it for the first time or you haven't played it very many times before. But what is good is, just like with the sharp keys, there's a really useful mnemonic to remember all of these, and it comes with a bit of a health warning. Don't try this at home, but burning everything around diesel generally causes fire. Which is true, so it's easy to remember. Burning everything around diesel generally causes fire. And so that's the order that we'll always see these flats when they appear in key signatures. And let's just prove that that is the case by getting rid of a few of our flats that we've written in already. Let's get rid of, say, this group here. Get rid of those and that one as well. Great. And so we've now got a key signature that has four flats in it. Here they are. We could take time trying to work out what these are and reading them off the score, but also at the same time, and these are exactly the same whether you're writing in the treble clef, the bass clef, the alto clef, the tenor clef, whatever, it's always going to be the same order. So these four flats will be B, E, A, and D, burning everything around diesel. And so when we see this key signature, it's just reminding us that we're going to need to use those particular flats in the music.